of news. Quick bit of breaking news. Breaking news. Devin Booker. That's all I need to say, folks. According to 98.7, the Suns broadcast, but the guys in Jersey don't know how that works. Assuming nothing changes, we are getting Devin Booker back for Game 6 in NOLA. Quick aside, off the aside, they call the Smoothie King Center the Blender, and I cannot express to you how fucking dope that is. Like, what? It was never the Blender. It was like, at one point until this postseason, the Smoothie King Center was more like the Bros Blender that, like, was in the corner of his kitchen and never got plugged in, and it's just there for appearances. Like, it was that kind of blender. Now this is like the Vitamix turned on, full blades. Don't want to put your finger inside there. You'll get chewed the fuck up. So now that is the Smoothie King. I love that. Another side, Jose Alvarado, the guy I love, and I talked about him on Monday, his nickname, didn't know this, is Grand Theft Alvarado. Sir! Like, just let that sit in. Grand Theft Alvarado. Jesus. Anyway, let's move on to the real news. Since we last talked, two of the most disappointing teams this year, the Nets and the Hawks, have gone night-night sleep mask. And tonight, we will say 1-2-3 Cancun to the Chicago Bulls and possibly the Denver Nuggets as well. Both of those teams derailed significantly due to injuries, but we don't care. Bye-bye. Fitting that the Bulls go down to the Bucks without Caruso and Levine, who has now been in COVID protocol for the 15th time. Not a scientist, don't know how it's possible, but it is true. Postseason run, bye-bye to COVID. Or maybe he's just on a plane to Cancun. We don't even know about it. Before we get into the next offseason and what comes next and some of the developing chatter around Ben Simmons, we must talk about last night's game, which was probably the best game of the playoffs so far. Memphis Grizzlies versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves continuing to collapse late. Timberwolves continuing to choke on their own meats. Continuing to talk when they're up big and then getting smacked down and going home with a big L on their forehead. Jesus Christ. Ja Morant, last second bucket, and they asked him, Ja, what were you thinking on that last play? And he goes, get a bucket, Ja. Get a bucket, Ja. He came into the game hobbled. He looked bad. He missed the first million shots, and I do mean there were a million of them. At one point, he had more turnovers than points. Wait, no, that was Trae Young. Excuse me, different game. All night, Ja was bothered, not himself. I think he missed the first 6 or 7 shots, like I said, missing open jumpers, just generally not being Ja. And then you get Pat Bev saying too small to Ja. With a whopping 9 points, Pat Bev saying too small. You have Karl Anthony Towns trying to pull the Trae Young going, shh. Shut your ass up, Karl Anthony Towns. And then when the Grizzlies needed their superstar, no matter if he has a hip issue or a knee issue or whatever it is that he's dealing with, which there is a few things I'm sure that is ailing Ja. When you go up as often as he does, you're bound to take contact everywhere on your body. And Ja is a little guy, so he showed up. He hit a huge 3 to put him up 1. He bammed on, I don't even know he died. The guy that he dunked on, he's dead. So, and then the winning finger roll, which looked like it could be a jumper, and then somehow he maneuvered forward in the air, defying gravity, finger roll. With time running out. Amazing. It even amazed Eric Spoelstra. They told him, hey, by the way, you were watching the Timberwolves game, the end of the game? They're like, yeah. And he was like, yeah. And he's going on for his post-game presser to just say bye-bye to Trae Young and the Hawks. And they're like, yeah. Ja hit that layup with 5 seconds to go. They won that game. And he's like, what? How come the TV's not on in here? Yeah. Another quick tidbit that changed things was that Jaren Jackson continues to be unusable. He fouled out. And when he fouled out, Taylor Jenkins did the inexplicable. He put in a point guard for his power forward. So it was Tyus Jones and John Morant mixed with Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks, and Brandon Clark, which they're calling the Eensy Teensy lineup, and AKA the Alive lineup, the opposite of the Death lineup or the smaller Death lineup. I don't know. And you got to give props to Brandon Clark. He had 15 boards. He had a monster fourth quarter, 21 points, 15 boards, but also a new term. I don't know that there's a term for this, so I've made it up. We know what the hockey assist is in basketball. So it's like pass, and then that person passes for the assist. He had a hockey rebound, many hockey rebounds, where he tips the ball purposefully to Jaw for them to get the rebound, purposely to Dez to get the rebound. He did that like 6 or 7 times in the fourth quarter, so I'm calling that the hockey rebound. Brandon Clark was just tremendous. I think he's going to continue to come up big in this series for them to win. So just to recap for folks who want an encapsulation of how the Wolves lost, Wolves outshot the Grizzlies from the arc, but they had 11 fewer shots, got out-rebounded 53-42. They gave up 18 offensive boards, sent Memphis to the line 39 times to their own 24, and committed 23 turnovers. They shit-talked the entire way through that. That is how that went down. If the Wolves end up losing the series, they've got to be sick. They should have sent the Grizzlies home last night based on them being up 25 points in Game 3 and taking the L. Things you just hate to see. We in Minnesota now. Now we go back to Minnesota, and maybe they'll just stay in Minnesota.